All right, so just to give you a bit of a briefing about the course, right? This is the first semester in which we are separating levels, right? Advanced and intermediate. In other semesters, the approach was a multi-level course in which I would adapt the same kind of activity to different levels in class, yes. This one we are trying, as we have like more students joining the English classes, we have decided to separate, so we have a better sized group, and I can focus on each of the levels, yes. This is then the first class of the semester, right? With some of you, I've already had a class before, but if not, then it's going to be our first contact together, yes. Well, a book a month started originally with a course focused on teaching only literatures in English, right? Since last year, we started offering some courses in English grammar, more focused on the English language. But I do come from this background, right? I have been an English teacher for like almost all my adult life, yes. But in a book a month, it's sort of a novelty, yeah. So it's like 1.5 years that we have started doing that. And a book a month, you have I think that you have met both of us, right? It's only me and Audio, the teachers. We Audio teaches the Novels Advanced and the Reading Class courses. I teach all the others, right? So I teach the language classes and also the literature classes, big reads, intermediate, short stories, and so forth. Yes. Something that we really tend to do here, and I would like you to take benefit from that, right? We try to approach you and teaching with horizontal pedagogy. What does it mean? That we don't have to face each other in the sense that there is a hierarchy between students and teacher. You have access to me whenever you want to. You can send me messages if you have questions. You can get in contact if by any chance you're feeling that something is not working out for you, that you need some change. You can talk to us and you can talk to me directly whenever you need to. Yes. I'll try to make the best of our meetings together. I think that learning English in a creative way, it stimulates a lot, so it helps with learning. And this is something that I always try to do, bringing you something fun to do in class, but also a visual experience that will trigger your learning process and make you learn more. Yes. That being said, it's kind of evident that in a book a month, we adopt a non-traditional method. Yes. That means that we use something different in order to teach fluency, in order to teach vocabulary, and in order to make you absorb grammar, which is reading. It's not every school which does that, right? We know that for sure. And in this course, I tend to use all of these possibilities, but also associated with something that I really enjoy doing, which is the communicative method, which is trying to make you speak the more you can and learn grammar, even without you realizing that you're learning it. And at some point, when you already know how to use it, you will realize that, oh, this is what she wanted us to learn, right? So this is usually how I work. Yes, and other students who have been my students in the previous semesters, they can attest to that. Yes. In this semester, we have tried to create a few changes, mostly to facilitate for you. Yes, and something that we have started to do, which I think it's going to be helpful for you as well, is integrating everything that we have in terms of links, files, communication, anything else that we would like to give to you we will add to this one link tree that unlocks everything that you need for your English classes, right? So if you want, you can scan it now with your phone, it works, right? It's the same link that I have sent you this afternoon, this morning on WhatsApp, and I'm gonna show it to you now, just so you know how to use it in the future as well. This is what it's going to look like, yes. And this also connects to what I was going to speak a little bit later in those slides. The first thing that you see in this link tree is the access to your classes on Zoom, yes. This is the same link for all the levels of English, yes. We have at the moment 3 groups open. This one at 7, then we have another one on Thursday at 7 a.m., right, in the morning. And then we have another one on Monday, also on Monday, today at 7 a.m., right? Intermediate into advanced. If by any chance you cannot come to this course today on Monday, you can join the advanced course, yes, on Thursday. If you cannot on Thursday, maybe you would like to not miss a class, not miss the opportunity to have a class on that week, then you can join the intermediate course, which I'm sure is going to be beneficial for you as well. Yes, a little bit of review helps everybody. So this is done with the same link. You can join the classes with the same link. Yes, so we don't have to keep bombarding you with links in the future. Yes. If you cannot come to our course on Monday evening, and you need to come to the advanced, you don't even need to tell me, people, just come. Yes, you have the freedom to do that. It's meant to give you freedom, so you don't have to miss classes when you cannot come, right? It's meant to stimulate you not to miss classes, yes? But if you do need to miss classes, all the classes are recorded, and I will always send the recording to you on the group, okay? So this is our deal. Everything that we have of homework is going to be here for you. If you want to do some of the homework of the intermediate, if you want to review some things, you also have access to that, yes? So it's up to you. Something else that we are doing since last year is offering a few extra hours a month, right? That we call office hours, but they actually function as plantão tira dúvidas, right? So we have the dates here. I'm going to show it to you. Monday group, this one. The dates are here, right? On your calendar, you have office hours. You have the time. This is always like Brasilia time, right? So we don't have confusion in the future. The dates and the link that you're going to use, then this one has to be different, right? Because it's a different thing. It's here, okay? So just check the dates, take notes, add to your Google Calendar, add to your Apple Calendar, whatever you use, yes? And you can join it by clicking here. It's going to direct you to a Zoom meeting, yes? And usually the meetings, the office hours meetings, they take around 1 hour and a half, yes? And we offer it twice a month. So it's at least 3 hours every month extra that you have access of me or audio, right? To talk about anything. If you want to come and talk to me about your life, but in English, okay, you'll be practicing, right? So I'm going to be there fully available to help you out. If you have you have been doing like some homework and you don't understand something and you want to talk to me and help, I can give you help, okay? So I'll be there fully available for you, yes? So this is what this link is all about. If by any chance you have some kind of difficulty using it, just let me know and I'll help you out with that, okay? Questions so far? Anything that wasn't clear?
I have one question.
Yes, sure.
If I miss one class and I am on advanced, I could go on an intermediate. I should
Sure.
go.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? You're going to review the present perfect. You're going to review the simple past. You're going to do an activity talking about, I don't know, something complex of the world, right? You have the opportunity to at least practice and not to miss a class, right?
Okay.
So this is good. Really do take use of that because we created this to help you out, right? Because we know that everybody leads a busy life of study, of personal life, of work, right? So this is here really to help you out. Okay. All right. This link is available on your WhatsApp group, but also available here. If you want to scan it and save it on your phone, just be my guest and do it, okay? Or if you misplace it, just let me know. But we left it pinned on your WhatsApp group, so you see that message on top of it. It's this, right? So if by any chance you misplace it, you can access it again. Let's continue a little bit. Today we're going to do some different activities, but just so before we start, I will tell you a little bit about what we're going to do this semester, and then you know what you can expect. Yes, because I mean, a big part of learning a language, it does take a little bit of dedication into reviewing and improving grammar, right? But my role here is to make you enjoy grammar as much as I do, right? It's in English is quite it's not as difficult and not just like focus on only memory, right? As in Latin languages, for instance, right? Portuguese, French, Italian, which you have to remember certain conjugations and all of that. English is much easier than that, yes. But we need some practices in order to learn how to use the grammar, which is the most specific things and the most important thing, right? It's not about learning what it's meant for, but you need to know how to use it. And this is what sometimes is the difficult thing with advanced students. I have lots of students who come here saying like, I don't know how to use present perfect, right? Which is something that usually we learn in intermediate course, yes. But it's the reality because we don't have this in Portuguese. It feels tricky sometimes. So these kind of things will happen to us every now and then, right? But the main idea is really to keep you speaking, to practice fluency and other bits, yes? So I mean, like the purpose of the course itself is to consolidate what you have already acquired. Yes, we're gonna polish what you have already acquired. At this point, I believe that you have had already contact with most of the grammar points of the English language. Yes. From now on, we're going to add some of the most complex ones and polish the ones that we already have. And we're also going to work with expanding vocabulary, which is where the reading enters. Yes, reading is the most efficient way of expanding vocabulary. Yes, because sometimes you will infer the knowledge, the meaning of some words when you're watching a film, when you're watching a TV series. But I mean, chances are that you're possibly not going to listen to the same word over and over again. But this happens with writing, yes. Uh, each person does have a limited amount of words that they use over and over and over in their writing. And this happens with literature as well. Certain vocabulary is characteristic of certain writers. The more you are exposed to the same words, the more you will learn. And this is the idea. Repetition is key. Yes. And also, we're going to work on fluency. Yes. And I mean, fluency, the ability of expressing yourself with non hesitation. Yes. When I ask you about something and when you would like to talk about something, you don't hesitate, not hesitating on learning how to, or maybe trying to find the correct words, but if you cannot find the correct words, just turn around, paraphrase it, and communicate. This is the idea of fluency, right? The same thing goes for natural speech, in a sense that I will try to make, to help you sound more natural, more close to a native speaker than I can be. But of course, this is not a kind of work that we can do in only one semester. This is a construction, yes? And this is what the purpose of this course is. It's not something that is going to finish in only one semester, right? The more you do it, the more you're going to achieve it, yes? Our classes they go from August 12th, like today, until December 16th. Yes, Jane Austen's birthday, casually. We are also going to work with something that I really enjoy. I always like to work with lists. Yes, lists of the most used words of advanced students, lists of the most mispronounced words of English, right? Or the most challenging words of English. We always like to, I personally like to use this and put this in different contexts. So you are exposed to this as well as a way to expand vocabulary. Yes. I think that there are going to be some holidays throughout the semester. I don't remember exactly when they are, if they're going to affect you, but they are in our calendar, right? So of course, I will let you know in advance if by any chance we have a holiday on the day of our class. But I don't remember. I don't think there are going to be one. I think maybe on the Thursday group, yes, but not with the Monday group. But we have to check, right? Use the calendar as you can, like try to maybe have it at hand for the office hours, for the dates of the classes, is going to help you out. Okay. Are we going to use a book? Yes, but not only a book, right? I'm going to use some specific scattered activities from these two books that I like very much. This one is from Cambridge. This one is from National Geographic Learning. Cambridge is really celebrated and it has like a good reputation in terms of learning English, like in teaching English. I like the methods very much. And I really enjoy National Geographic Learning, mostly because they are very up to date, right? Some of their methods are associated with TED Talks and TED Education, which gives you a lot of activities which are connected to the 21st century, the 20 and 20s, right? 2020s. Not like those English methods that talk about the Berlin Wall, right? Which, I mean, very important that we talk about historic things, but I mean, we have to be updated, right? We have now to be talking about other things which are pressing, very important. Climate change, and artificial intelligence, these kind of things. And this is what these methods that are updated, they bring to us, yes? But I personally, I don't like to only stick to the book, right? Because I don't think it's beneficial for you nor for me. So I use, sometimes I'm going to use the book, sometimes I'm going to use other alternative activities like one that we're going to do today, yes? And sometimes we're not going to use the book at all. Yeah, this is usually how I work. I prefer to vary, and we will alternate between the different kinds of activities. You don't need to buy anything. I will give everything for you, right? I will give you the PDF, or I'll show you in class, and we're going to do it together. Okay, good. All right, so let's talk a little bit about English. I always like to show this picture in the beginning of English classes, mostly because it's like a very beautiful image. And also because it helps us to understand a little bit what is the place of English in the history of English itself, and how different it is from our branch of languages, right? Sometimes we think that well, maybe I listen to students saying that it feels like English is impossible, right? Or maybe it's difficult to progress with it. And we come from a tradition in which we have a wide connections with different other languages that if we cannot speak, we can understand. And this is the magic of Romance languages, right? We can understand Spanish, we can understand most of Italian, we can understand some bits of Catalan, we can understand Galician, we can understand a little bit of French, right? And so it goes, mostly because we are part of the same branch, right? Mesmo ramo, right? Mesmo galho das línguas, yes. And the thing is, English is a completely different branch. And it's not only a little bit more isolated from this branch, but it comes from a Germanic branch, right? So English has lots of similarities with German, right? If you study German, you will notice, yes. But it's not the same thing as goes for the Romance languages, right? An English speaker cannot really understand German the way as we can understand Spanish or Italian. Yes, some part of it, of course, without having to study. So just keep in mind that English does come from a different history of language. And sometimes it's going to take a while for us to get familiar and familiarize with it, mostly because it comes from a completely different tradition and organization of languages, right? To give you one very simple example, in Portuguese, we don't need to alternate the order of words in order to create a question. We just do it with intonation. In English, we do, right? We change the order, we put the verb first. This is something that also happens in German, yes. So these kind of things, it kind of facilitates for us when we understand that we have to learn the logic of the language itself, not trying to always translate from Portuguese into English, but try to understand how would I say the things that I want to in English, not only translating. Yes, because sometimes the logic of one language doesn't apply to the other. Okay. If you want, I can send you this picture in high resolution for you, right? If not, just look at it, maybe to print it out and put it in the wall because it's so nice, so beautiful, right? At least I think so. So sometimes I like to refer to this tree just for us to understand a little bit of what we are doing here, okay? And now I would like to go just talking a little bit about what are we going to do for sure here. Yes, so you understand the classification of the language, the levels, and everything, right? When we advertised this course, we aimed at having students who were in between B1 and B2. Yes. And what we're trying to do here is to try to achieve C1. Yes. When we have such close levels, A1 to A2, is really quickly the jump, right? To progress from A1 to A2, it goes quickly. From A2 to B1, it goes quickly. From B1 to B2, a little bit, right? It takes a little bit more time. From B2 to C1, although it's a neighboring level, it takes a bit of some time to achieve it, right? And I say this not to frustrate you, but to tell you that this is a process. And what I aim at doing in this course, it's not something that always gonna have like a chronology. The kind of activities that we're going to do here, they are meant to stimulate you into achieving C1, yes? Doesn't mean that you're going to do it in only one semester, right? But you are getting there. Yes, this is the idea. In the next semester, if you continue doing this course, we're not going to do the same things in class. We're going to do other activities which are meant to create a jump from B2 to C1, but they are focused on the targets that I mentioned to you before. If we have only a class of conversation and I keep correcting you and giving you prompts for you to speak, it would be also this kind of activity in which you are trying to go from B2 to C1. Yes. The more I push you, the more you go forward. Yes. But of course, if you could do homework, if you could come to every class and read all the things that I ask you, it's gonna go really quick if you have the possibility to dedicate yourself and dedicate some time to the course. Okay. Very nice, people. So I think that by the idea of C1, we really have to understand that it's not about learning certain competencies in the sense that I can narrate all the English grammar for you. I know everything, right? It's more about how you perform in the language, right? How you are able to express yourself. It's one thing having a question, having a conversation with a person in a restaurant, right? And talking about the food. The other thing is talking about literature in English, which is usually how we try to elevate your language. The more complex the subject, the more it requires from you. And this is what we're